What's up, guys? I'm Mike from StockedUp, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. The market had a pretty boring day today, but we do have a lot to talk about. There are a lot of plays forming in the market right now. We have some news with Robinhood and how they actually benefited from all the controversy that's going on with their brokerage right now. We're going to be covering some earnings with Qualcomm and eBay, and we have a lot of news with Amazon. And at the end of the video, we have a $15 million options trade on Amazon for this week. So make sure you guys stick around for that. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. But with that being said, Tom, what happened in the market today?
Yeah, there's actually some interesting news with Robinhood, like you said. And even though a lot of people aren't necessarily happy with Robinhood right now, Robinhood actually leads in-app downloads amid the GameStop frenzy per CNBC. And this is right off their website. And you can see how much their downloads went up compared to compared to apps like Coinbase, Webull, and TD Ameritrade, Fidelity, E-Trade, Schwab. All of those companies are really low down there. It looks like Coinbase and Webull were the only companies even really close to Robinhood here. But Robinhood really gained a lot of members, and people did not expect this because obviously everyone's saying that they're leaving Robinhood and stuff like that. But I guess that there's just such an influx of members that they're just, it just keeps adding more and more members to them, and they had 600,000 people do it on download their app on Friday alone.
That's crazy. So that just goes to show you how much publicity there was with GameStop, AMC, NOK, BB in the past couple weeks, and it shows you how many people, how many new people are looking to get in the market. So that's some pretty interesting data to see there. But what's going on with this GameStop? What's going on with GameStop, AMC? I know the hype is kind of dying down a little bit. I know that the brokerages and the clearing corporations, they halted, or they didn't halt, but they limited people from buying a certain amount of GameStop and AMC. So how are these stocks doing?
Yeah, AMC actually did pretty well, up 14% today. And I know a lot of people are messaging me, pretty happy that AMC went up, but a lot of them actually already sold out. And then we'll actually go ahead and look at GameStop, which is actually, it's up only 2.6%. It was up a lot more earlier in the day, but it has been kind of negative/down. And this one did kind of close with some negative momentum to it. But AMC kind of closed with a little bit of negative momentum, but it closed a lot higher than GameStop did compared to its overall low today.
Gotcha. And I was looking at Qualcomm and after hours, and they're just getting smashed. So I know that they reported earnings. What are the numbers looking like?
Yeah, the numbers are actually a 2.17 EPS versus a 2.1 forecast. So they actually beat earnings very, very slightly. And their revenue was 8.23 billion adjusted versus 8.27 billion estimated. So they lost out on their actual revenue, which is not good for the chip maker. But they also announced that their current CEO, Steve Mollenkopf, will retire later this year. And then that's also terrible news compounded on this news with it being negative since that announcement. A lot of people kind of expected this stock to maybe turn around after they announced his retirement, but it looks like it's just going to continue to possibly have that slight downtrend to it. And it's just not good news. The first semiconductor to go ahead and really reported terrible earnings. So that could be bad news to come for stocks like Micron and AMD and different stocks like that.
For sure. And then I was looking at eBay, and that's just soaring in after hours. So what are the numbers looking like there?
Yeah, eBay actually is doing very good. 0.86 adjusted versus a 0.83 estimate, and their revenue was 2.87 billion versus 2.7 billion estimate. So they really beat on their revenue, but their gross merchandise volume was 26.6 billion versus 25.1 billion. So they really did well there. They increased their dividend by 13%, and then they're expanding their buyback program by $4 billion, which is just fantastic news. And obviously, eBay, I think, has just done very well during this time with COVID. They're kind of a company that I thought was lagging behind for a long time. And you can see right here around April, they really started to kind of explode back up with COVID, and now they're retesting highs. And I think that this is just a stock very similar to Amazon, and they have a lot of growth potential, especially in the long run.
For sure. And then speaking about Amazon, they reported pretty great earnings yesterday, but their stock is down over 2% today. Obviously, we had that big news with Jeff Bezos stepping down. So what are you thinking with Amazon? I know we had a pretty decent sized red day today, even though we had some pretty solid earnings.
Yeah, I mean, I'd really like to think that Jeff Bezos stepping down wouldn't really affect Amazon too much, but with how Reddit was today, it might really affect it in the short term more than anything, I think. But really, I mean, Amazon is such a high stock. I know a lot of people are really hoping that Amazon actually goes ahead and does a stock split, kind of like how Tesla did. And that would really like lower the price of Amazon. They might go from 3,300 down to 330 a share. I mean, who knows what type of split could be done, but a lot of people are hoping that the new CEO will go ahead and do that. But we'll just have to see what goes ahead and happens. And it just looks like that Amazon doesn't like this news at all. And I think that if the overall market doesn't like that news either, then it just looks like that we might just have to go in slightly in a downtrend here with this news of Jeff Bezos. I think that he is a pretty prominent figure with this company.
I think they're going to do amazing things in the future. And what I've noticed over like the past 2 weeks is it seems like most of these blue chips that report earnings, with the exception of Microsoft, they report great earnings and then they kind of fall down. So, two big examples are Apple. One, they reported pretty good earnings and then fell. And then Facebook is the other one that also reported pretty good earnings and fell. And then Amazon kind of did the same thing, reported great earnings and fell. The only one that didn't really do that is Microsoft, and they're just kind of skyrocketing. But overall, with everything with Amazon, I think they're going to do amazing things and continue to grow in the future. In the short term, I just think I'm not a huge fan of the overall market right now. I'm more neutral than anything else. I'm not bearish. I'm not bullish. I'm just pretty neutral. And I just noticed in the past couple weeks that these blue chips are kind of having some interesting movement after earnings.
Yeah, I mean, especially with like the big blue chips, like you said, if we go look at Apple, you can see Apple actually it reported earnings up here and then actually started falling down, like you said. And it happened, just like you said, with Amazon now, they went down on earnings and their earnings were even pretty good, like you said. So it's just a common trend to see these blue chips go ahead and go down. But some of these stocks, they're going up like eBay, but just keep in mind that eBay is kind of a little bit of an outlier on what they do.
For sure. Well, let's get right into our Discord member of the day. Today's member of the day is Piper. So she made a great post in the Discord yesterday, and she said, "Thanks, Mike and Tom." And then she invested about $1,100 into a Bank of America call option, closed it out for around $1,700, and this was actually one of our alerts in the stat modeling program. Great job, Piper. Great job having a plan and staying disciplined. Great job overall, and continue to do great trades like that. Like I said, this is one of our plays that Tom and I sent out. If you guys want plays similar to this one, you can click the first link in the description down below. But with that being said, Tom, let's get right into our momentum plays for tomorrow. With the first one, we have Boeing to the upside.
Yeah, this stock's actually doing very good. And I even picked up a couple shares for the long term, but I really like this above $208.16.
Sounds good. With the next one, we have ExxonMobil also to the upside.
Yep, XOM, make them pop above 47.67.
All right. With the next one, we have QS also to the upside.
Yeah, QuantumScape. Yeah, I love the name on this one actually, but make them pop above 48.71.
With the next one, we have Microsoft to the upside.
Microsoft, yeah, finally a big name above 245.10.
Sounds good. So we are eyeing all of these plays potentially to the upside tomorrow. If they can break above the levels Tom listed, we are eyeing them for a quick intraday day trade. That's all it is, to the upside, but only if they break above the levels Tom listed for quick momentum plays. But now let's get right into our $15 million trade for this Friday. We are looking at the Amazon 3,500 strike call options that expire this Friday, February 5th. So looking at this play, like we just talked about a couple minutes ago, Amazon had not the best day today, and these options are about $200 out of the money. They only have about 2 days left of time. I really think they're shorting them unless we have some crazy news come out like tomorrow with Amazon, or unless we see like the NASDAQ just skyrocket. I bet these options will probably expire worthless. It looks like these might be either shorted or like a covered call or something like that. I just don't see anyone putting, $15 million into an option that's $200 out of the money and with 2 days left of time.
Yeah, I definitely feel you there. And Amazon just it has a lot of downwards momentum, like you said. And if they were in, they probably would have already exited. So that's probably a given right there.
Yep. All right. Well, let's get right into our questions from the previous episode. With the first question, we have Bravo saying, amazing technical analysis, Mike and Tom. How do you guys feel about the markets so far this week? I'm still not trusting the market yet after what we saw last Friday. Appreciate your thoughts. So, thank you so much for that comment, Bravo. And I'm glad you asked this. So, on Friday, if anything, I was feeling just a little bit, just a tiny bit bearish, just given how many SPY puts were being bought and VIX calls. But now I'm completely neutral. I'm not super bullish and I'm not super bearish. Just the way the market's moving, I'm just pretty neutral with everything. I can't see the market falling, but it's not like I'm gonna go and buy puts because of that. I'm just completely neutral with everything. Tom, do you have any like levels you're watching for, or like any insight for us?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really watching this pretty good resistance here around 383 to 383.50, even 384. You can see how it kind of hit 384 and then 383.50 quite a few times. And even today, this morning, it hit like 384 and then started going down pretty significantly down towards like 381 to 380.50. And it was just a pretty good move to the downside. And then at the end of the day, it even started moving down as well. But I think that overall, it might start to go up. We'll just have to see what happens. And eBay had good earnings, but some other stocks are really starting to go down on earnings. So I think it's just going to be interesting. But you can see that over the past couple days, it's really just been flat and pretty much trading between a range from 381 to 383.50.
For sure. And then I was also just looking at stocks like Apple and Facebook. Like they've been really flat for the past 4 days, you can say. And everything. I feel like there's a lot of other stocks like that too. So I'm just gonna keep my neutral stance for now. That can change at any time. With our next question, we have Michael saying, loving the content. What are your thoughts on CCL and JBLU? So Tom, I know you were eyeing out like NCLH the other day. We have another cruise line, which is CCL. I think it looks pretty good right now. What do you think?
Yeah, a lot of these stocks are really under recovered. And I think that just going forward, as long as we start opening up the economy more, these stocks could do very well. But I really love the move to the upside and especially off the technicals and above supports right now. Today, there's really good level on CCL above $20.50. If we pass above that tomorrow, I think that that stock could do pretty well. And it just looks like a pretty defined top there. And I just love the movement on this. And if we go to a max daily chart, this is where you can see that they're really under recovered, and a lot of these a lot of these cruise lines, I should say, are like starting to bounce off these SMAs, and those are just very good technicals, especially on daily charts when they're actually moving off of them.
For sure. I actually really like CCL right now. Like even for a long-term investment or even for a short-term trade, I really like the setup right now. And then he was also asking about JBLU, which I also really like. So I like both of these plays right now. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, JBLU, JetBlue. I think this one could do pretty good as well. I really like the move off that $14 support. I think that's a very defined level and it bounced off of it once again. And I just think it's a pretty good move on this stock. I'm not sure the options on it, if they're priced well or not, but at least the move on the stock could be pretty good. And I think you could get a pretty good trade in from $15 up to $16.
For sure. And then with our next question, we have Jack saying, go DraftKings. And then he also said, great video as always. Thanks for the great content. Check out MRVL for those who want a 5G play. Strong stock and a Kramer favorite. So first, I want to look at DraftKings. This stock is popping, Tom. I know you said you were eyeing it out, ahead of the Super Bowl. It's doing pretty well. We're getting close to those all-time highs of around 64. Are you seeing anything specific, or are you still watching it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing a pretty good specific level here, right at $61, and it's also bouncing right off the 100 SMA, like right now in after hours, and it also did earlier in the day, pretty much like around 10 p.m. Central Time, 11 p.m. Eastern. But I really like the move, especially if we pass above 61. And with all the news with the Super Bowl, it's just very good news. And you can just see how much potential this stock has once it starts running and starts breaking highs. The last time it broke out above its previous high of $45, it really exploded up above that. So just watch out for that with the Super Bowl. And they might report like really good numbers and a huge influx of bettors and stuff coming in.
For sure. And then he was also asking about MRVL. So I know we were talking about this a little bit today, and we were both eyeing it out. I mean, you could see it falling, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I personally think it can fall. It just passed below the 1,000 SMA. It did that in pre-market the other day and still held its ground pretty well. But I just think it's due to go down. It's done very well over the past years. You can see moving from about $16 at the low all the way up to 55.70 at the high. So there's just been a lot of growth on this stock, and it just looks like it's starting to trend to the downside. I'm not saying it's going to, crash and burn here, but I think it's due for a little bit of a pullback.
Yeah, gotcha. So I can see it continuing up in the long term. For the short term, I'm with you though. I can see it pulling back. With the next question, we have Luke saying, what are your thoughts on DOW and VZ? So I was looking at DOW. I think it looks pretty good for the long term. I mean, it's not my favorite setup in the market right now. It's a relatively safe stock. I do like it. And then if we look at Verizon, it also looks pretty good. Also like a 5G type play. I like it. I don't love it. Another long term setup. What do you think on these two?
Yeah, I'm actually really liking Verizon right now. It's at the 1,000 SMA on a daily chart, and it's moved well off of that in the past. But I do think that 5G is going to do pretty well over the next few years, and Verizon's at a pretty low level right now, just given the type of company that it is. I think that there's a few companies like Verizon and AT&T which are actually pretty low right now, especially with 5G starting to roll out.
Good stuff. Well, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or any insight for the market for tomorrow?
I know I do this one a lot, but SPCE, once again, it's up to 57.12 today, fully recovering up 17.5% at close. I really like this stock. If it moves above $60, who knows how high it can go within the few minutes that it actually moves above 60. It could possibly get closed out around 62 or 63 like it did in pre-market this morning, but you can really see that in pre-market and after hours yesterday, you can see that how well that $60 was defined with these two candlesticks right here that are extending up, and it's just looks very hot. It's closed at its highs today, so hopefully we can see another good move out of this stock tomorrow, and I just know a lot of people are hyping this one up.
Yeah, your stock's pumping, Tom. It's doing awesome. So it's getting very close to that all-time high. I'm very excited to see if we'll be able to break it, by this week. So a lot of great things going on in the market right now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you want to trade the same stocks as Tom and I every single day, you can click the first link in the description down below. We're doing a $40 off sale. Overall, we've been pretty hot for the past couple weeks. You can cancel it anytime, so definitely check it out. The first link in the description down below. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. But other than that, thanks for watching.